and make it the inheritor of us. And let our vengeance be upon those who have wronged us, and aid us against those who show enmity toward us. And do not make our affliction in our religion, and do not make this world our greatest concern, nor the limit of our knowledge. And do not give power over us to those who will not have mercy on us. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sallam, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Peace be upon you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mashallah. Mashallah, shukran sana ya Sheikh. Next we're going to have the head of business, Hassan Anil, to give us a word of welcoming. Makofi tafadhali.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillahi alladhi hadana li hadha wa ma kunna linahtadiya law an hadana Allah. It is with great pleasure that we invite you all to this wonderful occasion as we celebrate all our efforts that made 2021 what it was. So I am humbled and I'm honored to welcome each one of you to this occasion. Feel free and enjoy yourselves.
Shukran sana. Hey, is the microphone. Hivi za Serena kweli. Shukran sana. Unajua kwenye nilifika hapa, the first person I met was the head of business, Hassan Anil. Hata siko najua unaitwa hivyo. Alianza kunitishia, wewe usijaribu kuleta joke na mimi. Sasa umeharibu na nimeshakuona. Okay, next we're going to have presentation from the Sharia manager to give us a brief about the model, and then from there nitawachekesha. Mko ready kucheka? Mko tayari kucheka? Haki mnakaa successful hadi mnanitishia maisha. Nyinyi mtacheka kweli? Sisi tumezoea kuchekesha masafa raki. Haya sawa, wacha tupate brief explanation of the model and then we continue. Alafu chakula inakuja, kuna mtu anashangaa, "Oh, mshaletewa?" Ndio maana muongei. Haya, mmeletewa nini? Mmeletewa supu. Najua kuna watu wa Kakamega wameshikwa na stress. Food iko tayari, tafadhali msijamu, food iko. Haya, wacha tupate Sheikh of Sharia kabla anakuja. Mmesema mmeletewa supu. Kuna vijiko mingi sana hapo kwa meza, najua mnashangaa ni za nini. Kuna visu, kuna uma. Najua hizo hoteli za matajiri zinaweza pia mtu depression. Mimi siku ya kwanza nilikuja huku waliletea chai na uma. Chai na kisu, bako na shida sasa. Okay, nitakata nini? Utakata majani ama unakata nini? Okay, as we wait for him, I want you to do me a small, kizungu imepotea kidogo. Activity, ndio hiyo imerudi. Activity kidogo. I want you to clap for your neighbor, mwenye umekaa na yeye, according to how beautiful or how handsome they are. Allah. Kwa nini mmecheka nikisema hivyo? Wewe sasa ni hivyo basi. Utafanya sisi wengine tuanze kuona si beautiful. Mko sawa lakini mnakaa poa sana. Ambia jirani yako unakaa poa. Unakaa poa, mwambie unakaa fiti. Unajua kupeana compliment ni kitu kizuri sana, lakini wa Kenya haki. Yaani Kenyans are the only people in Kenya. Okay, they are the only people in Kenya. Kenyans are the only people in Kenya. Okay. Wa Kenya ndio watu pekee wanaweza kupatia compliment na wanakutukana in the same sentence. Na hata huwezi jua. Mtu anakuja anakuambia acha tuenjoy. Ani la kwa wapi tumuenjoy? Ani tafadhali. Wewe ndio unijitakia hii maneno, kuja tu. Wapi makofi Ani tafadhali? Haya ndio kidogo tu. Haya ametoroka, acha tuenjoy cameraman wetu. So huyu ni Mkenya anakuja kupeana compliment na anakutukana in the same sentence. Bari yako boss? Naitwa nani? Sam. Naitwa Sam. Hii kamera umeweza nayo. Unajua kufanya hii kazi. Yaani mtu hawezi sema hii umechukua 200 hapa Kiambu hapa. Mtu anasema itisha tumechukua na 200 yani. Wenye na kutoa vizuri hivyo. Mambo. Naitwa nani? Naitwa James. Okay. Wewe ndio cameraman hapa. Mtu hawezi sema ulipata D yani. Mtu hawezi sema ulipata D, ndugu yako akakununulia kamera ujishikilie nayo. Haya, wapi Sheikh of Sharia wetu tafadhali? In the meantime, guys, kwa wenye hawanijui kwa majina naitwa Nasra Yusuf. Wangapi wanajua Beyonce? Tafadhali mkono kama unajua Beyonce, huyu wa Amerika. Wewe unamjua? Nani mwingine anajua Beyonce? Kwani hamjui? Oh, pole. Nani anajua? Nani sasa? Nani anajua Maher Zain? Sasa hii joke umeharibu kwa sababu sharia compliance sikupanga hiyo joke iko hivyo. Niendelee na Beyonce. Na isipotee. Sasa mimi ndio Beyonce wa Kenya. So kwa wenye hawanijui, karibuni sana. Mimi naitwa Nasra. I am the only female Somali comedian in Kenya. Wapi makofi yangu? Thank you. You know, being a female Somali comedian has not been easy wewe. Kwanza kuelezea wazazi ati unataka kuwa comedian. Wapi? Kwanza my dad, the first time I told him, nikamwambia baba, unajua mimi nataka kuwa comedian. Kanambia hiyo ni kitu gani? Nasema nikamwambia mimi nachekesha watu. Na kuona sana wewe anataka kuchekesha wanaume, si ndio? Nikamwambia hapana, ni wote wanaume na wanawake wote. Kanambia hapana, hiyo maneno hapana, nataka kusikia kwa nyumba yangu. Kama analeta hiyo maneno unatoka nje. Nikamwambia sawa, nikaacha kabisa. So kitu ilinisaidia, kuna mtu alipiga simu. Hiyo siku tu tukiwa na baba yangu, client alinipigia simu. Kaanza kuniambia hello Nasra. Nikaweka loudspeaker. Mimi hata sikuwa najua client atasema nini. Nikaweka loudspeaker. Na nikamwambia hello, habari yako? Mzuri sana. Sasa tuko Amerika, tuko na show tuna organize huko Amerika. Tungetaka wewe ukuje uperform 1 hour peke yake. Tutakupatia 150,000. Baba yangu anasikia hiyo statement. Akanambia, "Ala, kwani wewe hawezi chapa siku 3? Kwa nini anakupatia 1 hour peke yake? Wewe ni mtu ambaye anaweza chekesha, si ndio? Eleza yeye hata baba yako yenyewe anaweza." Eleza yeye hata sisi familia yote ni watu comedian. Hivyo ndio vile nilijipata nimeendelea, at least nimeendelea na comedy. And pia my mom pia yeye amekuwa supportive. Lakini before niolewe, unajua of course niliolewa juzi by the way, I got married recently. Thank you guys, thank you. Lakini sio rahisi. Kwa nini hamkuniambia sio rahisi? Takaful mko na cover ya marriage. Tafadhali tuwekeeni hiyo kwa sababu so me before I got married, you know, I used to have mama anasema hakuna haja ya kwenda kutembea na wanaume huko nje. Kama mtu anakupenda akuje kwa nyumba muongee kama nawaona. So mtu akikuja, kuna mmoja alikuwa anaitwa Moha. Alikuwa na kagari kadogo. Hii inaitwa Vitz. So Moha akikuja na Vitz, mama yangu hapendi kuona mtu ana pesa. Anajua tu hii Vitz hii hapana, si ya mtoto yake. So siku moja amepata Vitz imepakiwa hapo nje. Mnaniona watu hii pande? So akapata kuna Vitz imepakiwa hapo nje. Mama yangu akakuja kama anapiga mlango kutoka nje, anapiga mkelele. Wewe Nasra, nani amebaki hii mkebe mbele ya mlango yangu? Nikamwambia wewe ni Moha, anasema ananipenda. Hapana Moha, hapana, penda wewe. Aende atafute kazi apate pesa. Mambo ya mapenzi hawezani nayo saa hizi. So siku ya pili, okay, si siku ya pili, after a while kidogo mwingine akakuja. Si siku ya pili by the way, sawa? Si siku ya pili, ni after a while kabisa. Mwingine akakuja, lakini sasa huyo alikuwa na V8. Amepaka hapo mbele. Si mnajua V8? Sasa amepaka hapo mbele. Mama yangu akakuja kama kawaida. Haenda sasa hiyo siku hata kupiga kelele. Amekuja kama amenyenyekea. Salamu alaykum Nasra. Habari yako? Nani amebaki mashine hapa mbele? Nikamwambia ni huyu Hussein, anasema anataka kunioa. Na sasa hii gari si angebaki ndani ya nyumba jameni. Atajomeka na jua. Na hii gari yako na cover kweli? Nikajua mama yangu pia yeye si mchezo. So thank you guys for coming to the Takaful Intermediary Awards 2022. I am your MC for today. Mtaletewa, just to remind you guys that we have some dinner for you, and the dinner, kuna watu wataenda hii upande, kuna buffet. Kakamega people, sio supu peke yake, kuna buffet. Kuna hii upande ya left, I will call, ndio msiende kujazana hapo. I will give you in the order of going for your meals, and then you must have your mask on. Sawa sawa? Ukiendea chakula tafadhali have your mask on. The other thing, ukienda kuserve chakula yako, there's a serve, ile mkono unatumia kuserve, kuna glove imewekwa hapo. Tafadhali vaa glove because of health issues, as you know. And the last one, ukimalizana na hiyo glove usiweke kwa mfuko uende nayo nyumbani. Tafadhali kuna dustbin mahali hapo, uweke kwa dustbin. Sawa? Lakini mmenyamaza tu, yani ni kama hata mnielewi ama mwelewa Kiswahili. Okay, I'm trying to say, once you go for your meals, okay? Because I realize that maybe you guys are not understanding Swahili because you are in Serena Hotel. Okay. So our chef is ready. Kindly wapi makofi yake. I want you guys to changamka. No, bado hiyo makofi hapana. Hiyo si ya kuelezewa model. Unajua kuelezewa model ya business ni kitu kubwa. Juu mtu anaweza toka hapa kama amepata ka idea, aende atengeneze yake. So you know that. So this is someone very important. Wapi makofi yake in a good way. Chef, the Sharia manager. Welcome.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. It's great honor and opportunity to stand before you to share our model, how we operate as a Takaful Insurance of Africa. I know most of us do not know how we operate, how Islamic insurance operates. Maybe you may just see the end result when it comes to claim payment, for example. You will just notice that it is the same as the conventional, but at the back what we do is quite different. That's why today we decided to explain to you how we operate as a Takaful or Islamic insurance Islamic insurance. The main area which I want to start with, it is how the risk is treated, because it is different from the conventional. We know very well that in conventional insurance that the risk is transferred from the policyholder or the insured to the insurer, which is the company. But for Islamic insurance, it's different. The risk is shared among the policyholders or the participants. So we shall see how it operates. So for example, when you as a participant come for Takaful Insurance of Africa to seek for cover, for example, let's say motor Takaful or motor private Takaful cover. So what we treat, or what we do, apart from the documentation, KYC, and all the requirements which is needed for you to be given that cover, first, your contribution is not considered as a premium the way it is known. For us, it's a contribution. Why? Because you are contributing in a pool. You're contributing in a pool whereby that fund, portion of that fund is paid to Takaful operator as wakala fee or agency fee. Why that portion of contribution is paid to Takaful operator? Because Takaful operator acts as your agent in terms of managing the pool or the contribution. They invest or it invests in Sharia compliant ventures. So why? This is the reason why Takaful operators is eligible to receive that contribution. Then that contribution portion which is now has been taken to Takaful operators or by Takaful operators, now the remaining is put in the pool, which is treated as donation or tabarru in Arabic. So that contribution, it is put in the pool, portion is being used for claim payment, retakaful, and any related expenses which may be incurred during the management of that takaful, of that risk fund. And in order to increase the capacity of that fund, Takaful operator invest that fund in Sharia compliant ventures. Although here in Kenya, we have very few areas for us to invest, unlike conventional insurance. The main area which we are obliged to invest our money, it is through a fixed deposit with our Islamic bank here in Kenya. For example, Gulf African Bank, DIB, and also FCB. So we have a fixed deposit with this bank so that now we can invest in a Sharia compliant ventures. We cannot invest our money through buying the treasury bill, bonds, and so on. Why? According to the Islamic principle, these areas of investment are considered as non-Sharia compliance. So we can't invest in that areas. Because we are Sharia compliant, we are guided by the Sharia principles, so even in investment, we have to ensure that our money is invested in Sharia compliant investment. Now, the profit which is generated from that investment shall be agreed upon. And this ratio which is applied when investing or when sharing the profit must be agreed upfront before we invest. So for us as Takaful Insurance of Africa, we take 45% of the profit generated from that investment. The remaining, which is 55, is now returned or put in the risk fund to increase the capacity of the risk fund so that it can be able to assist the participants. When there is any claim or any expenses incurred, the risk fund will be used to settle those claims and for Takaful expenses also and the other expenses. Now, assume the risk fund depleted because, let's say, the number of claims in that year were very high compared to the capacity or to the amount of money which is in the risk funds. So the only way Takaful operators will seek for financing or additional funds in order to fill the gap, it is through benevolent loan from the shareholders. We don't borrow from the conventional bank. Why? Because we know very well when we borrow money from the conventional banks, we are required to pay interest. And for us, interest is non-Sharia compliant. So the only source of income for us to fill the gap, it is through the shareholders' benevolent loan, which is interest-free loan. And the repayment for that loan is paid from the future profit generated from that investment. Now assume In that year, we had very few claims, very few expenses, and in the risk fund, there were some funds remains. Now that remaining is called surplus. So that surplus, which is in number 10, it is belongs to the participants. So now we shall find out those participants who have never benefited from claim or any other expenses, and we shall return that money to them according to the guidelines given by our Sharia Supervisory Council. And in case we have looked for those participants or the beneficiaries, and because of the details or the contract that we have are not correct, we cannot find them. We have tried to contact them, but we can't find them. So that money will be returned to the risk fund, awaiting for the owner. Anytime they come, even if after 10 years, their money will be there and they are entitled to receive that money. At the same time, Takaful operator, because of that expenses incurred for calling the participant or the beneficiaries, writing checks, maybe sending M-Pesas, also it is entitled to receive some amount of money from the surplus. Are we together? So it's also entitled to receive a very minimal amount of money from the surplus in order to cover the cost which the Takaful operator has incurred during the payment of surplus to the beneficiaries. And that surplus is given to the beneficiaries as gift. Why? Because there are different views from the scholars. And I don't want to go in detail explaining different views about who belongs, who owns that surplus. Are we together? So since we have different views, so we have taken the most acceptable view from among the scholars who say that surplus belongs to the participant because they are the one who contributed that money to the pool, and since they have not incurred any cost, they have not benefited from any claim, so they are entitled to receive that surplus from that money. So we give them as a hiba, gift, in order to avoid the confusion, or for those who say giving the surplus is non-Sharia compliant. Now, we have also a look at the investment portion. Remember that apart from the Takaful fund or the risk fund which we invest, at the same time, shareholders are entitled or can invest in that fund, combining that funds together with the risk fund, and any profit which is generated from that investment will be shared as per the agreed ratio upfront. So this is just a brief explanation about our model, how we operate. So in this case, we see there's no any transferring of risk because the risk now is shared among the participants in that pool. So if, for example, you have contributed and you have not incurred any cost in that year, so remember that since you have already intended a portion of your contribution as gift or as tabarru, remember that it has already benefited the other members who have incurred cost. So in other way, or I can say indirectly, you have been rewarded by God for your intention and also for helping each other. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran, chapter number 5, verse number 2, say, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى, and help each other in righteousness and God piety or God fearing. So since you have obeyed the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have paid, you have contributed, and you have helped your friends, you have gained thawab from that, or reward from God, because of that good intention. So now see how this model is fantastic, how this model is good for us. So my appeal to you as our beloved intermediaries, please let us support this organization to grow. It is your organization, and you see how fairness is entirely is found in this model. When you support us, apart from getting your commission as an intermediary, you also get thawab because of that helping each other in righteousness and God fearing. In this few remarks, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very so much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Kama umeelewa, clap once. Kama utasupport Takaful, clap twice. Thank you so much. And now we're going to have presentation, business presentation from Victor Mokua. Kindly a round of applause for him. We're going to have dinner first, and then we're going to continue with the presentations and understanding more of Takaful. So kindly, acha nikonfirmiwe kama the food is already ready, and then tuendelee kukula tukijibamba, si ndio? In the meantime, DJ, tunaweza turushia maherzain moja ya sharia compliant. Someone is asking me at what time will we ask questions of what we've not understood. We will give you time. Don't worry, I am here. Sawa? Uko kwa mwenye mikono salama. Haya, kindly. DJ kidogo. So guys, kindly, I want you to go and serve for yourselves some dinner. Kindly put on your masks, vile niliwaeleza. And then on the right side, table 18 and table 13. You can go on the right side. This, I think right side ni huku, si ndio? Munaweza enda huko mkule. On the left side, let's have table 7 and table 4. Sawa? And then once you come, we're going to send other tables. You don't to see overcrowd. Thank you. Table 1, kindly proceed to the left gate. Table 1, kindly. Table 2, kindly join. On the left side, table 12 and 11. Table 5, table 6. On the left side, table 5 and 6. And then on the right, table 10 and 17. Table 8 and table 9 on the left side. 14 and 15 on the right. If you've not gone for food at this point, kindly just go and check your dinner. ikoaje? Chakula ikoaje? Mkikula mwongeangi na watu? Okay, mashallah. We're gonna continue in just a bit. Enjoy your food, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly enjoy your food. We have some more fruits and desserts for you. Kama unataka fruits and desserts, we still have them for you. So usiogope. Sawa? You can go for round 2, round 3. Sawa, Sawa. Thank you. Are you guys enjoying the food? Jameni, ongeeni hata kama ni tamu. Semeni tu yes. Are you guys enjoying the food? Yes. Thank you. So now we want to continue with our program. I want to call the head of business presentation by Victor Mokua. At least akuja atupatie presentation ya kibiashara, si ndio? A round of applause for him kindly. Victor Mokua, where are you? Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. The hardest job, people cannot respond back to you. By name, I'm Victor Mokua. I'll take us through the pension presentation. What we seek to do with this presentation today is ideally share a lot of details around the pensions industry, what is happening, the retirement benefits that will be worthwhile for yourselves, and also pitch for the Takaful umbrella fund that we run. Takaful is involved not only in the general business, but also in the retirement benefit sector. We run an umbrella fund. So that is what I will be seeking to share with ourselves today. And may I have the presentation, the other one, please? Now, just to speak from a macro level perspective, what is happening in the country of Kenya. Kenya coming from the 90s, the retirement benefit sector has received a lot of interest. When you look at the financial world, of course, the banking sector ranks highest in terms of assets under management. The pensions industry is closely following up very soon, because now people are realizing the importance of saving for age-old status. Of course, insurance, the capital markets have been harnessing a lot of money, but people are coming to the realities of what retirement is. So, coming from the 90s, the retirement benefit sector, RBA was set up, and government wanted to have a focus around that area. The industry now sits at around 1.5 trillion Kenya shillings. It's a growing sector. Of course, the banking sector, the insurance, the SACCOs, the capital markets are in that space, but I am keen on the retirement benefit sector, because as you look into the future, this is going to be a focus area. Looking at the wide spectrum of the Kenyan population, 45 million plus, only around 3.2 million sector. So what it means is that a lot of us are not thinking about retirement. And you see, the reality is that at some point, all of us are going to retire. All of us are going to exit our jobs as is. So this needs to be at the top of our minds, even as we move into the future. There are lots of service providers in these areas. There are lots of conventional players in this area, but Takaful Umbrella Fund sits at the middle of this whole ecosystem with a unique proposition. The unique proposition is that it gives Sharia investments, and number two, the returns have been very great, just to speak, and I'll highlight a lot of that. So Islamic finance does work, and I will share that with ourselves today. My take has always been that Muslims should not feel left out of the financial space in any of the sectors. We should be playing in all the sectors, be it the SACCOs, the pension schemes, the insurance space, the banking space. All of these sectors, there is a unique proposition that we can give to the market, and that will be my desire to show and to us today. But just to speak around retirement, you see, a lot of us, and I see, we are varied in terms of age as we are seated here. Of course, there are some of those close to retirement, there are those probably just joining employment, there's those self-employment, and all these kinds of frameworks apply. But the reality is, as we sit here, our employer takes care of us. We are at the tail end of the end month. Our salaries have been paid. Probably you have a medical cover. Probably you have a group life cover. And all these benefits that you enjoy as you work. Too bad if you are in the higher echelons of society, where you also have a driver and you have all these things. The reality is, at some point you will exit that stage, and the retirement age from age 55 to 60 is going very long time in retirement, one that many of us do not like to think about or plan about it. And the reality is, if you don't plan for it, you are definitely planning to fail. So look at it. You retire at age 60, probably with good health. You live up to your 90s, up to your 100s. A whole 30, 40 years where you will need a little bit of finances to sustain you, because you see, the world has also changed. We used to have our children as our retirement plan. Now that has changed with the modernities, with the culture shocks that we have. A lot of children now no longer take care of their parents or that have that kind of outlook. So each and every is on our own. What I like to tell most of my members is that, again, in the African context, each one of us is a risk factor on their own. In Africa, you just don't take care of your children or your parents. You take care of society. There are around you who depend upon you. So a lot of us are risk factors. So we need to be financially disciplined, financially planned out, and we have a vehicle for that. Our pension fund ensures that the monies you contribute little by little go into a pot of money. They are invested, they earn a return, and eventually at the point when retirement comes in, you will be set and ready to face a brighter future as you go into retirement. So we have a vehicle. We have the Takaful Umbrella Fund. Takaful Umbrella Fund has been in existence for a period of time, starting 2013, now in its 9th year. We've not been shouting about it so much because, again, as Alidin spoke about, the model had to be tried out to see if it works, to see, to understand, for a lot of appreciation even by the market. 9 years on, a fund of around 700 million, 20 companies invested in it, averaging 10% return over the last 9 years that we've been in existence. It tells me that this fund works, that Islamic finance works, that Muslims should not feel like they're stooping just low to join this fund just for the sake of religion or anything. It is a fund that competes with any other conventional fund that is out there. So My take today is that I want to share with us this proposition that yes, there is a retirement fund that runs, that is Sharia compliant, that can fit and meet your needs. It is a fund that we are marketing to the SME sector, the micro, medium, small enterprises, to the NGO sector, entities that do not want to start their own pension funds, that do not want the challenges and the legalities of running. So we have created this fund. It has a board of trustees, very well competent individuals in the areas of finance, law, and HR issues. And so a competent board supported by a Sharia board that cross-checks in terms of the investment. We have service providers who are well-versed in terms of what needs to happen in terms of investments. They shop around, they check in terms of the opportunities that are out there in the market. But heavily we've partnered with the 3 banks, DIB, Gulf, and FCB in terms of our investments. At least we've tried to create that ecosystem to self-support each other even as we do these Sharia investments. We have a custodian bank which collects, and again, we are regulated by KRA and RBA. Those 2 regulators cross-check in terms of the activities that we do, just to ensure that we meet the obligations, that we do not lose members' funds, that again, the tax incentives that are extended by government are well enjoyed by our members. So this is a fund that, just like any conventional player, has the same parameters, but more on top of that in terms of the returns and in terms of the Sharia aspect around it. My take is most of us have not joined this fund. Most of us have either not heard about it, are skeptical about it, but the reality is it is a fund that is working. We have over 20 companies. Takaful itself is invested in this fund. Haas Petroleum, Soliton Telmec, Umma University, a lot of entities from Mombasa have equally joined this fund. A lot of school, Ladnan Hospital, Mewa Hospital, all of these entities have joined this fund, and we share with ourselves, ideally the top management here that are seated here, the CEOs, the HR, the CFOs, who make decisions in these companies to enroll your staff in this pension scheme. You see, as a leader in any company, as a captain of industry, your primary role is to assist your members in terms of financial discipline. You see, a lot of staff will never take this decision if top management doesn't say, join this particular pension scheme. It may be a hard sell initially, yes, it may hurt their pay slips, but eventually out of experience, what I've seen over the years is that members, once they start seeing the growth in their pension book, once they start realizing this is something that works, they top up on those monies. So my take and my plea today to most of you is to state this, that Takaful has an umbrella fund. Takaful is in the pension fund. It is a fund that competes very well with the others. I can always share the materials. You can always reach out to us. We can always have a discussion where they invest, where we invest, what is the market outlook, and those types of scenarios. We can always have a discussion around the contribution rates, how much should one put in, what are the risks that are prevalent, and all those issues. Just to finalize, you see, on and on gauging, as we continue to engage the market, there are various opportunities that coexist with this fund. There are various places where we invest in. So we are ideally also looking for partners as we look for investment opportunities. We have the money. Sometimes the space where to invest in may not be existent, but we can always craft if that idea, if that concept is there. So we are looking not only for partners to join this fund, but we're also looking for partners in terms of investment opportunities that are out there in the market. That would be my plea to us today, even as you eat your meals, that kindly consider joining this fund. I'll be hanging around out there. We can always book a meeting, a session to discuss the numbers, to discuss how the fund can work for yourselves and that kind of a thing. I hope I was brief enough. I hope I was direct to the point. And I would like to say thank you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much. Another warm round of applause for Victor as he walks away. Guys, we have something major. Sema major. Something extremely major that will be happening at the end of this program. But before that, let me call Hakim Musa to give us a presentation on the BDM pension. A round of applause for Hakim Musa. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the welcome. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. All right, just to make sure that I have your attention, it's good to have you here. Some of you we met in December, I think in Mombasa, most of you. And this is a great pleasure. I'll be doing a very brief presentation. My name is Hakim Musa, and the Business Development Manager in charge of medical. As you can see the slide there, basically I'll be taking you through a brief journey of the Afya Takaful, which is commonly known in the market as medical insurance. From inception, Takaful as a company, we were founded in 2008, but our first license we were given in 2011. That's when we got our first composite license. But medical as a unit, we were licensed in 2015 to start underwriting medical for corporate clients. So far, we've been writing corporate business, not individual, but I'll be talking maybe briefly as we proceed on our opportunities out there that we want to look into in 2022 going forward. So last year, we celebrated as a company 10 years, and as a medical unit, and especially for those of us who are gathered here, we were doing our 6th year in the industry. Most of us, of course, want to partner with us, especially those who are doing corporate tenders. And you'd realize that for corporate tenders, there's normally a minimum requirement for you to register with us, rather to pitch with these customers and so on and so forth. So the opportunities for us in 2022 going forward, as a company, we want to also diversify from corporate business and also go into a little bit of individual medical or family medical. This is one area, of course, that will give us a good, especially with the experience that we've had, it will give us a good opportunity to diversify the portfolio that we have. So maybe the next slide. Of course, before you, there's the corporate eligibility and a member. These are common qualifications, but of particular importance is, of course, the business that we, especially being a Sharia compliant company, we always go hunting for business that is ethical and moral. Those that are non-Sharia compliant, those are things that we normally shy away from. I'm available, of course, for any corporate that you want to book with us, for you to discuss on some of those eligibility. Probably some of them have missed them out. Next slide. So basically, most of us, of course, listened to the Sharia presentation. But one uniqueness about our medical that I felt that it is important for us to note is probably a differential or rather comparison between Takaful and conventional insurance. These are basically highlight. Of course, as a company, we would like to sell out the service. We want to be known for good service. But over and above that, there's some uniqueness that are worth of mention. One thing is that as Takaful, we accommodate up to 4 female spouses. Of course, those are recognized, those that are recognized under law. So, of course, some of us, or even the clients that we pitch out there, they have families that are themselves they recognize. So this is an avenue for you to probably, if you have a burden of medical, probably you have a family that is out there, you can always walk into Takaful and we will always welcome you if you have more than one family. Of course, in the insurance, or rather conventional insurance, there's normally a restriction on that as well. Something that I'll not delve into, of course, if there's a good loss ratio for medical, which of course this is something that we always aspire to have, there'll always be surplus distribution. Maybe something that I need to add on that is that as intermediaries, as people who hunt for business, and for us, because we have that particular attribute that we fight for, business that is moral and there's a bit of ethical practice in it, is that we want good business. And you know these clients, so I know when you're hunting for clients, we want clients that probably, that of course you can never avoid risk, but a good loss ratio is always obtained if we hunt together for clean business. Maybe the last one is rather obvious. We are ethically regulated. Over and above the IRA, we are regulated by our own internal Sharia board. That shows the heightened sense of the business that we carry. We take our business very seriously. Of course, on the conventional side, the disadvantage is that they are only regulated by IRA. Maybe something I skipped, of course, for surplus, is that if there is a surplus on the conventional side, of course, it goes without saying that is profit for the shareholders. You can see there, that's my name, Hakim Musa. Our office is at Renaissance Corporate Park, but something worth mentioning is that our medical unit is here at Koinange Street, Rehani, second floor, Rehani Plaza. At second floor. We brought the services closer so that you can easily walk in for any queries with your customers or anything that you'd like to ask about medical. Those are my numbers, that's my email, but I'll be available after the dinner for us to discuss further and any business opportunity out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Asante sana, Mr. Musa. And now, before we even welcome our CEO, Madam Sumaya Hassan, kuna swali naulizanga watu na watu wanashindwa sana. So nataka niwaulize, unajua leo at least nimepatana na wenye Kenya. So I want to ask you guys, at least mnisaidie, okay? Who can tell me the material of the cloth that I'm wearing? Ama nikuje mshike? Aya, let me pass around. Kindly. Chiffon. Okay, who else? CEO sitaki kuchoma na wewe wacha tu. Who else can help me? Just tell me the material. Nani huyo? Bazoo. Bazoo, hebu tuambie. Na ukipata Bazoo. Aya, who else can help me? Someone from this table around here. Utusaidia, umevaa suti nzuri. Lazima unajua mambo ya material. Guza tu, usiogope. Silk. Uko serious tu na maisha? Uko tu serious kabisa? Silk. Aya, who else? A lady? Someone, a lady? Acha nikuje kwa mzee. Hii watu wa nyuma, backbenchers. Hata kwa meetings za biashara mnakaa nyuma. Hey, okay, someone help me. Okay, kindly kushika. Chiffon. Huyu amesema chiffon. Chiffon. Okay. Ya kushika madam, unakaa unajua hizi vitu. Cotton. Ayani hakuna mtu anapata. Wapi Okay, wacha nikuje kwanza hapo alafu nikuje side nyingine. Hebu shika. Georgette. Ati Georgette. Hiyo ni gani? Kwani unatuambia kitu haijalonchiwa bado? Aya, anybody else from which table? Wapi? Na Bazoo pia mwingine hapa. Nini ampati? Niwaambie jibu. So this is not silk, this is not chiffon, this is not bottom up economy. Okay. Harir, hiyo ni Kisomali. Hiyo ni harir. Okay. Madam CEO, nikupe chance ama nikuache? Aya, Madam CEO amesema tumwache. Umesema ni harir. Okay. So this is not harir. This is not chiffon. This is not silk. This is not bottom-up economy material. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a wife material. Thank you, and for that, guys, I want to welcome our CEO, Madam Sumaya Hassan. Wapi makofi yake tafadhali. A warm round of applause for our CEO, Madam Sumaya Hassan. Okay, before our CEO comes, there are a few people who had some questions about the presentations that happened hapa. Kama ulikuwa na swali yoyote tu, uliza, mimi nitakujibu. Mimi mwenyewe nakujibu. Haya, ma'am, hebu tuambie ile ya kwanza ilikuwa inakusumbua.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alice Joroge, from the Deputy Director in Insurance Institute of Kenya. I'm happy to be here. My question goes to, I don't remember the name, the gentleman who presented the Takaful model. Thank you very much for breaking down the Takaful insurance for us in a way that we well understood. However, we were left with a few questions. When you say that the surplus is distributed depending on the good loss and distributed to the members who have contributed to the Takaful, our question was, do I benefit with it?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this question. As you know very well that when you insure your property, for example, or motor vehicle, you insure for 1 year. Are we together? You insure for 1 year. It's a tenor is 1 year. So now the surplus will be calculated in that period when you are insured. Then if there's any surplus in that year and you have not incurred any cost, let's say claim and so on, you are entitled to that surplus. Come to the following year, you renew. Now it is a new contract. Now in case of any, for example, in that year you didn't you incurred cost, may Allah forbid. So in that year you're not entitled for the surplus because you have already benefited from the claim. So this is how we consider the surplus. But as I say that in case that year we had that surplus, but we tried to look out for the beneficiaries, but unfortunately we were not able to reach them because of the contract and so on, but still their money is there, so anytime they come, we look at our records, and if you are entitled, automatically we give the surplus back to you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Wamefurahi hapa, wamesema wow. Umejaribu to pay remark, just a minute, remark about that, what do you think?
Yeah, that's an enticing thing to make sure that your clients can go to Takaful, because I don't think there's any other conventional insurance whereby you get any returns or profit, so to speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tushapata client wa kwanza, tuende. I had the medical question.
There were two questions. The first one was about age limits, if I had it right, and the second one was about hospitals. So on the age limits, definitely, I think it was on the slide, the minimum age limit is 18 years for a corporate, and then the maximum is 65. There are certain instances where you'd find employees who are beyond 65. That doesn't lock them out. Just like any underwriting treatment, there'll be a consideration, basically will subject them to further underwriting guidelines and also some bit of consultation with the Takaful partners. The second question was about hospitals. I think the right way, I'm sure what you wanted to say, to Muslims or Islam. No, our panel is rich. It goes beyond, it doesn't look, we do not select or we do not add hospitals into our panel based on faith. Maybe something to add about that is that the richness of our panel is that it stretches in all the 47 counties. We have premier hospitals like the Aga Khans, and we have also low cost or probably what you call affordable hospitals. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Anybody else with a question? Just raise your hand up and then I'm going to come for you. Kama uko na swali tafadhali uliza. Before I call our CEO. Okay. Yaani umekaa karibu na CEO na uko na swali?
No, so that everybody can benefit, inshallah. So he said 18 was the limit. So you find that, so what would you recommend for younger people below the age of 18? Do they not have any kind of cover?
Okay.
Um, 18 is for corporate. Maybe I should have expounded further. Thank you for asking. So yes, for corporate, or probably those people who are in employment or in an association, the age limit for entry is 18 years. However, just like any medical cover, Afya Takaful allows us to cover beneficiaries. And beneficiaries here, we can cover children who are below 18 years of age. There are certain instances probably where you find a child subject to proof of dependency or other underwriting consideration. We might cover, actually the upper limit for a child should be 18 years, but the extension can be done up to 25 if the child is dependent on you and subject to proof. Thank you. I hope I've answered.
Asante sana. Anybody else with a question? Haya, sawa. Oh, okay, we have a question. Okay.
So good evening. I have two questions. My first question is in regards to the regulatory changes that we have seen affect the industry in the year 2022 in terms of rates. How has it worked out for Takaful? Second, on the pensions bit, there was, I don't know where the noise is coming from, but on the pensions bit, the presentations were done in a hurry. I did not hear where the investments are done in order to generate that constant 10% return year on year. Kindly just expound on those.
Okay, thank you. Hey, mtu mtaniua. Nani anajibu hiyo sasa ama niendelee? Niendelee? Nijibu? So, ameuliza aje exactly? By the way, just guess again. Who is answering that? Oh, okay. Sawa.
Okay, I'll do the second one. I think Mwaniki will do the first one on the rates. Islamic finance has limitations around where you can go and where you can't go. The good thing, it removes the speculative aspect around it, the gambling aspect around it, the interest, the riba aspect around it, the garar, and all of that. So we are limited to a very small scope. Now the partners that we are working with, the three banks, ideally in terms of the fixed deposits and the sukuk bond that we've been doing, they've averaged above the 10% to the highs of 13.5. So once we less our expenses, we are around that 10% trajectory. So that has been the scope that we've been playing with. Now, of course, we want to get a bit riskier, but then Islamic finance is really not for that. We are happy with the continued 10% trajectory. In a the stock market, the bond market, all those areas tend to be a bit depressed. But when you partner in a more stable fixed deposit space where you negotiate some of those terms, you are on a better trajectory than any other player. So yes, not very outlandish, if I may say, but just within a negotiated space. That's how we've been able to do it for now.
Thank you so much. And now, without further ado, I want you to... Oh, there was another part of the question. Oh, the rates, okay. Oh.
Okay, good evening. Yeah, a question has been asked about the rates, but before we answer it, I think we are all aware about the industry performance, looking at up to Q3 results for 2021, and whereby the industry made a loss of 4.1 billion in terms of motor class of business. That was an increase from 864 million the previous year. So we are all industry players, and we cannot ignore the industry statistics. And at the end of the day, insurance business is to give returns to all stakeholders. But having said that, we are all aware about the question which has been asked about the rates, and we know already that matter is pending in court. So we don't want to prejudice what is in court as by existing terms, and we have not had any effect in terms of business coming up because we did not increase rates by 50% as the other players did. In terms of the new business, we are within the rate which we were selling our insurance even last year. But obviously we have revised basically our writing terms. So I welcome you to engage us, and you'll find that our rates are very competitive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that same spirit, kindly put your hands together for the CEO of Takaful Insurance, Madam Sumeya Hassan. A round of applause as she comes in front. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Takaful Insurance.
Thank you. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure, my honor, my joy to welcome all of you here to this forum, which is a celebratory forum for us. We want to celebrate many things here today, and I will highlight what those things are. But first and foremost is to appreciate you for your time, taking your time on a Thursday evening in January. I know it's a busy time. We're all trying to get our years organized before elections, BBI. Are we going for BBI? Referendum, whatever the case may be, yes? We want to get ourselves organized early on in the year. So thank you. I really appreciate your attendance. So one of the big reasons we are here today is to appreciate our business partners, our intermediaries who have walked the journey with us last year and really supported us to achieve what we managed to achieve. We say in Islam, man la yashkuru nas la yashkurullah. If you don't appreciate what you get, the good done to you by a fellow human being, then you cannot really appreciate the favors of God upon you. Yes, and we also say that wala in shakartum la azidannakum. The more you appreciate somebody, the better your relationship is, the more they give you, isn't it? And I think this is true of our own relationships. If you do something for somebody and they appreciate you, you're happier to do it again next time and perhaps do a little bit more, isn't it? So it is in that spirit that we have invited you here today to really appreciate our business partners. And thank you so much for coming. Before I proceed, I want to introduce my team. I have a number of people here from Takaful. Some of you only know perhaps the channel partners that you deal with. You may not have seen the rest of the Takaful team. So those of my team who are here, please stand up. Muonekane, mutambulike. Team Takaful, where are you? MashaAllah. So this is the part of the Takaful team, covering a cross-section of business, everything from the business team to finance to underwriting to claims and HR and risk and Sharia, of course, audit, IT, actuarial. Who have I not spoken about? Who has a different role? Yes, marketing and MCC, the people who put this wonderful function for us here together. Thank you very much, Esther and Zarnaz. And executive team, who else have I? I've mentioned everybody, I think. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. So I think what you've noticed from the team here, by and large, we are a young team at Takaful, which means we are energetic. We are raring to go. And we are looking for partners who have the energy to keep up with us. And that's where you come in. I'm happy to see many of you, shall I say all of you, muko tu na sisi hapo, eh? We are moving together. We are also very gender balanced in Takaful. So we are able to appreciate both sides of the spectrum. And maybe one other question that people wonder is, are all your employees Muslims? No. I think you have seen. Even there we are balanced. We represent the face of Kenya, isn't it? Including in our clientele, including in our business partners. So Takaful is a model that is based on the principles of Sharia, but we serve everybody who is willing to align to our principles. If I may touch very briefly on two questions that were asked, maybe just to add one or two clarifications or points on those. The period roughly for calculating surplus payments roughly ends up being about 18 months. And the reason for that is we need to have the entire underwriting year to end. Only then are we able to know which are the late claims that came in relating to that period, what reserves did we need to make, and then after that we can make the necessary applications for approval. So by and large, that's the time period we are looking at as far as when we can really begin the surplus calculations. The other thing I wanted to talk about is investments. I know Victor presented about pensions, and the question is, what do we invest in? So we are allowed to invest in a wide variety of investments so long as they are Sharia compliant. At the heart of it, of course, is no interest. We are very strict on no interest. But the other thing is that our investment must be based on real assets, and that is at the heart of Islamic finance. My two brothers here, Abdul Khalik, the CEO of Gulf African Bank, and Peter Macau from the CEO of DIB Bank, are the experts in this area. You cannot invest in a Ponzi scheme as an Islamic financial institution. There must be a real asset underlying, a real transaction. And at the end of the day, that into its own when there are crises and all sorts of things. Then you see the Islamic financial institutions have actually performed much better. And the reason they end up performing much better is because they are not based on anything speculative. They are based on actual and real assets. So I just wanted to clarify that. We are not limited in terms of what we do or do not invest in, other than that it should be Sharia compliant, which can get very interesting for us, because one of the things that happens, and the ruling of our Sharia board, because we have an internal Sharia board, is that that money is impermissible, which means it is cleaned out of the company. We can't take it into our books. We can't talk about it as income because a lot of underwriters, you know, their net profit has a big chunk of what they earn from investments, including such. For us, that is money you can't even talk about. It is cleaned out. And the rules of cleaning out that money, it goes to welfare projects. However, because we are not allowed to take any benefit from impermissible money, we can't even take reputational benefit, i.e. we can't make it a marketing opportunity. We can't say Takaful distributed food to drought victims and scholarships for education, and we do all those, but we are not allowed to tell anyone from that money, because then we would be benefiting and people would be saying, oh, look at Takaful, you know, CSR. We can't. So that money is quietly distributed as welfare. If you see us doing CSR projects, that is from the clean money. The money we make from our operations, we can talk about that. But this other money, we can't. So it serves us no good at all to have any non-Sharia compliant income. And that includes having contracts which Sharia deems are very vague, they are very uncertain, perhaps they are not conscionable to the customers. We can't acknowledge and take that money on board either. So we really have to be very ethical in our operations if we are to make any sense as far as our finances are concerned. Otherwise, our Sharia team will just say, sorry, here, all this is impermissible income and you're not allowed to earn from it. And so if we are pushing that we are an ethical company and our business is inherently ethical, what does it mean? It means that ethics attracts ethics and should attract ethics. And we operate, however, in an environment which you know is full of fraud. And this is a really big challenge. Peter just shared with you the numbers. As at Q3 last year, we are talking about losses. That is one thing he has reported, that jump from 876 million to 4.1 billion. The other thing that the sector has also reported is the increase in fraud. And I'm sure you know this. We saw so many fraudulent claims last year, you know. And this is one of the ways you know that the economy took a battering. People want to make money out of nothing. The number of fraudulent claims, whether it is external claims, whether somebody feels they need a new car, they go and bash their own car, whether it is internal fraud, whether it's medical fraud, this is a really big challenge. And part of what underwriters therefore do is increase the number of steps and procedures they put in place to try and weave and sieve out the wheat from the chaff. And so my appeal to you as our business partners, let us help each other, because other than the point at which you bring us business and we give you commission, a lot of our engagements is when a claim arises. And I personally have put tremendous focus now on improving our claims experience, reducing the turnaround time, and making this an experience that is very palatable for the customer. But we can only do that if we did the right thing at the beginning, you know. A bad claim doesn't turn bad when the customer suffers a peril. A bad claim is bad at the beginning when it is being underwritten. So if you push, you don't have complete KYC documents, you don't want this car to be valued, there is a problem with this document, that document, you know, push this, I will bring the documents tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week, which becomes next month until there is a claim. Unfortunately, our relationship and our friendship at the point of claim ends up having friction. So to avoid that, let's help each other by really being very vigilant on KYC. Let's just do it right at the beginning. That way, when there's a claim, it's very easy, it's very smooth, because we have everything. But if at that point is when we are trying to figure out, what happened here, where is this, where is that, at that point, the customer is already in a situation that is very tense. They don't have time to be asked for all these documents, but yet we must. We had a medical situation where the person was in hospital and undergoing treatment and there was no problem, but somebody then turned up and said, I am the child of this person. Can you give me the results? What have they been told? Now, the data protection rules don't allow us to do that. You can't just give anybody's diagnosis because they come up and say, I am a child. Where are the records to prove that you are a child? Now, at that point, telling somebody that, they get very upset with you. Oh, my parent is sick. You people don't want to share information. And we understand. It's a very difficult situation to have a parent or a loved one who is sick. But the way to avoid that tension is to give us your details at the beginning. So at the end, if somebody is sick and you need this information, we are not adding pressure to your already existing pressure by asking for proof of who you are. So let's help each other. Let's really push to farm up our KYC at the beginning so that our relationship is smooth at the end as well. And by that I mean at the time of claim. So we have a word of focus for every year as Takaful. Our word for this year is opportunity. This is what we are focusing on. We are focusing on creating opportunities, developing opportunities, partnering opportunities. We are looking for these opportunities everywhere. And I invite you, if you have an idea where you think we can partner, we can cooperate, we can do something together, please bring it on. We are very happy to listen to you. We are very happy to curate products, which we may not have at the moment, but perhaps you have a specific client or participant who's been looking for ABCD. We are very open to that. And we have done a number of such and are continuing to do that. We are very, very open to cooperating and partnering with you in that idea you've been having, but haven't been knowing how to push it forward. Who do you look for? Look for us. Underwriters are generally looking to invest. We look for interesting investments. So talk to us. Let's make 2022 work for both of us. By God's grace, we know what last year was. We know what the previous year was. And 2020 was very, very difficult for the insurance industry generally. Takaful as well. People did a lot of policy cancellations. They did a lot of downgrading of covers. There was a lot of uncertainty. Jobs were lost. You know, this wasn't top of anyone's mind. Let me buy cover. People thinking of food and rent and that type of thing. So 2020 was a hard year. We thank God 2021, alhamdulillah, and with your support, we saw a change in that. And I am happy to say with your support, and I really appreciate you for this. As far as Takaful is concerned, our performance was 110% as far above budget. So we were extremely happy about that, and thank you very much for that. However, one of the things that we have learned from the 2 years of the pandemic is that we don't know what we don't know. 2020, at the beginning of the year, some of you were in a room with us having breakfast, talking about let's do this, let's do that. Little did we know that 2 months down the road, the world would be rocked by this pandemic. And therefore, not knowing what we don't know creates a certain urgency in what we do. Urgency to get the right things done. And by that, I mean prioritizing, your own life. What is your bucket list? What are those things you've always wanted to do? And you say, when I retire, when I do, okay, I think what we've learned over the 2 years of the pandemic, do them now. Don't wait when you retire. Who knows about retirement, right? Do it now. At the end of the day, you've always wanted to go and do what? And learn how to fly. Do it now. You wanted to go back to school and do ABCD. Do it now. This is one of the things the pandemic has taught us, to do things with urgency. So those of us perhaps who have family that we have had friction with, and we are waiting one day when we are old and our grandchildren are running around to go and seek apologies, do it now. The things that are important to you, do it now. As far as business is concerned, I prefer to start with the personal first. As far as business is concerned, again, we don't know what we don't know. So we prefer to push and push very hard at the beginning of the year. We don't know how the rest of the year will be. This is an election year for us. It will be as it will be. We pray for God's grace in this year. But let us run in the early part of the year so that we get ahead of the curve, whatever that curve may be. The uncertainties in the operating environment lend themselves to people taking out risk management initiatives and options like what we offer. Unfortunately, many people would rather raise money from the chama, the family, to take care of the peril. You know, when the car has burnt down or has been knocked in an accident, let's raise money to fix the car, rather than raising money to take out cover. So you'd rather be trying to raise 200,000 to repair a car than 20,000 to take out cover. But sensitization is one of the things that we are also really pushing and doing a lot of, and wanting to do a lot more of that in this year, so that we get, we just get this putting risk management in people's hands as a basic necessity, rather than waiting until something happens and then looking to who can I ask for help. Now, our dear intermediaries, we appreciate you, as I said. We couldn't do what we do if you were not with us. But one of the things I want to urge you, back to the story of KYC, is the type of records you keep. I know we have this, what do we call it? A bit of a tug of war. Whose customer is it? Is it yours? Is it ours? Is it our joint customer? Yes? My point is, if you don't have full records on this customer, one of the challenges we find when we are seeking to pay surplus is that you don't have the contacts. And this has happened to a number of your participants. We come to you, we give you checks, but guess what? You didn't keep their records. And when we call the numbers that you gave us, they come back to you. So appreciating the nature of the relationship that we have, we urge you, please keep the type of records that would allow you to find this participant when we have their checks. Because we have a lot of checks. And some of them, because you don't know where to find your own customers, it makes it challenging for us to reach them. So back to the conversation on KYC, and I want to end that particular session of my comments on that by urging all of us. It is both of us. It is not only you, it is us as Takaful as well. We are really putting tremendous pressure on ourselves in terms of our own record keeping, because that will help us in our turnaround time. It will help us to serve you better, faster, more accurately, but we need us to work together on this journey so that we can deliver the type of outcomes that we want. The other reason why we are also here today is to appreciate this group of Muslims. There is a group of 100 Muslims who have been recognized for their contribution to society. We are all about appreciating and recognizing people as Takaful, and we said we want them to come here. It's a celebratory day for us, and we want them to come and share in this celebration as we recognize them for what they have done in the different areas, whether it is the 30 African Muslims, 30 Muslims impacting Africa, whether it is the 100 Muslims who have been recognized, 100 most influential Muslims. We are very honored that some of you have joined us here today, and allow me to request you to stand so that we can give you a round of applause to appreciate you for all the tremendous hard work that you have done for the community. May I please request you to stand? If you're within the 100 influential Muslims and you're here, or you're within the 30 inspiring African Muslims, please stand without me needing to call your names. Thank you all very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a group that has had tremendous impact in the society, from the field of education to finance to welfare to media to community and welfare and marketing. So we appreciate you. We really do appreciate you very much, and please do keep up the good and hard work that you're doing. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the third reason we are here is to relaunch our Dada Takaful product. We have a product called Dada Takaful, and this product is for women. And the reason why this product is there as Dada Takaful is because we acknowledge that there are certain specific requirements that our female driver has And we as Takaful are saying, we hear you and we got you. We have curated this product for you. It is said that women are better drivers. But it helps to get Takaful cover anyway, isn't it? Just in case. Yes? That's a separate conversation. Who is not a better driver? The point is, there are special benefits in this cover for the women. So for example, when the woman is involved in an accident outside of her home area, we don't want her to feel overwhelmed by maybe she was driving out of town and the accident happened there. She can't use the car. Where does she go? So this cover provides 1 night of alternative accommodation at our cost, bearing in mind that the next day you will be back in your home area. Yep. The cover also understands that many times it is the women who are carrying the babies, and there's probably a car seat in that car. So if the car seat is damaged, we also replace that car seat, because we appreciate this is just part of what women do. And most likely, in many cases, the car seat will be in the woman's car. So we replace that as well. And the cover also appreciates one other thing. Now, the first two, the men have come to us and they said, we also want to be covered when we're out of town. Yeah? Yeah, who says we don't want to have a hotel, and a comfortable experience? Who says we don't drive around with our babies and we don't have car seats? We heard you. Yeah. Kaka Takaful, we hear you. We have something for you too. But there is one thing that is very special to every woman's heart. And it will be in the car, as it is everywhere else. What is that? Handbag, of course. And actually, we don't understand the people who walk around without handbags, how you survive, yeah? Because, for instance, you're walking around, yeah? What if you get hungry? Yeah? What if you need an apple? Where do you get it? In your handbag, right? Yes. What if you need a needle and thread? In the middle of town, you're walking around, your button falls off. Where do you get a needle and thread? Handbag. You start feeling a headache. Where do you get your Panadol? Handbag. So the rest of you, where do you get your needle and thread? Those of you who don't carry handbags? From those who carry handbags, right? Okay, you get the drift. Eh? So the handbag is very special to a woman. So what we are saying, if you are in an accident and the handbag is lost or damaged in that process, then we replace. We replace the contents to a certain extent, just to, help equalize your things, because we understand how important this, shall we call it machine or equipment, or Nasra, you need to help us with a word here. What is this gadget? We need another word that captures the centrality of the handbag to the woman. You know the way your V8 was a machine. Oh. It wasn't a car. Yeah, so think of a word that describes the handbag. So we replace the context to a certain extent. We can't replace fully the handbag. If you're walking around with a designer handbag that's, Mzee alikusot on your birthday, anniversary, Louis Vuitton, we may not come there yet. But at least we can help na hizi mambo nyingine, mambo na Apple, na sewing machine, needle, na, yes, all those things. So this is part of it, that we also give you a free personal accident cover, just in case something happened and, you got hurt and what have you. All part of, included in your Dada Takaful package. And because we appreciate that in a lot of households, the decisions are made by women. These are not my words because I'm a woman. This is a survey that has just been carried out. If you haven't seen that survey, I suggest you look for it. It may help your business. Essentially, it says 70% of the business decisions in most households are made by women. Now, in your private moment, when you're not with the guys, needing to look like you're the decision maker, You will acknowledge that where the children go to school, probably mama decided. Where you live now, mama decided. Am I right? The house where, a lot of things. But it's okay, we don't need to talk about that, yeah? We're just saying we have a product that takes care of the women. And here today, we want to relaunch it. And because all you wonderful people are here with us, it's part of what you will help us do today. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, 2022. I don't know what target you have set for yourself this year. We as Takaful, I hope you read the emails we send you every day. You know that Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday. We send you tips on keeping healthier. Take care of your nutrition, drink water, walk, do all those things. We've started this year putting our money where our mouth is. And today we said we are giving you yoga mats. We want you to exercise, ladies and gentlemen. This year, exercise. Yes? Now, you say, but I don't have time. Guess what? Have my mics gone?
This one's okay.
Okay. Huh? It's okay. I'm about to end. Don't worry about it. Let me just finish. Thank you. So, we want to start you off on your fitness journey for 2022. We are saying keep fit with Takaful. We are giving you exercise mats. Please use them. You will say, I don't have time. Guess what? We want to help you here find the time. If you go online and search for HIIT, H-I-I-T, high intensity interval training, you can actually work out for 6 minutes per day. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do 5, you can do 10. Let's work with 6 for now. We start you off slowly, the building blocks we are told about, and then muendelee from there. 6 minutes per day consistently, you will see results. Surely you can find 6 minutes. Surely. You can find 6 minutes in a day. Whether you keep the mat in the office and do your workout at lunchtime, standing abs, whatever. Whether it's in the morning before you hit the road, whether it's in the evening when you come home, please use those mats. We would like the next time we call you for a forum, tuone watu wame, yes, mambo na 2022, we want to see that you have used our mats. So please, use the mats. And Zarnaz and Esther here will send you tips during the Wellness Wednesday on how else you can keep up on your fitness journey. We want you healthy, ladies and gentlemen. We want to succeed together, inshallah, in this year. And one of the ways for us to help each other do that is help each other stay healthy. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, they say height is God-given, but width ni bidii yako, yes? Please use the yoga mats. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for our CEO. Asante sana. Nilikuja hapa na handbag CEO ni yaki. Handbag yangu imepotea, ilikuwa na Apple, ilikuwa na iPhone. 10,000, nini ngine mna replace? Shinda, hiyo haikuwa. Hiyo naweza nunua. So thank you so much. Are you excited for Dada Takaful? A round of applause for Dada Takaful. It's a very, very beautiful initiative. And right now we are going to the segment that we've all been waiting for. The reason as to why we are all here, right? So we are going to award the top 15 performers of Takaful Insurance in the year 2021. Hey, makofi. Mkisikia award, watu upiga makofi. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to call the person who is going to give out this award, Mr. Peter Mwaniki, who is the head of technical. A round of applause for Mr. Peter. Thank you. And I'm going to read in the order of from number 15 to the first person. Sawa. And at number 15, we have Sudan Embassy. And kindly can I have Mr. Rashid, by the way, to come and help me give out the awards? Kindly. Thank you. Nawaita mara moja. Anapewa Ken. So nasema. Cannot vacuum.
Just skip it.
Sawa.
Skip it.
Nani hawako hapa? Oh, Sudan hawayuko hapa. Hii ni DMG ama ni DMG? Okay. Okay, the next one is DMG International Construction. A round of applause for them. Okay. Sawa. Sawa. Okay. Yeah. Sawa. Amenieleza sahihi. Kategoria kwanza. Wallahi. Ndio ameniambia sahihi.
Sasa kama hii inaitwa kama hizi unaona wamekuandikia vibaya.
Ameniambia first category, second category. Wacha niseme tu first category.
Wewe andika first category, second.
DNG. A representative from DNG International. Okay. Sina mimi hiyo. Sijui nani. Sikupewa. Hajanipea amenileta.
Alafu cheki. Stop shouting. No, I can't excuse it. You know, vacuum sizioni. Kenwood vacuum iko wapi?
Sorry? Kenwood vacuum iko wapi? Hapo chini kabisa. Alafu msiji na ile. Nini ndo mnafaa mjue?
Na mimi sikuwa huko niambiwa, ananiambia saa hizi tunakuja kutoa watu na mimi sijui.
Suito huyu msichana anaitwa Farnaz.
Sana.
Come. Watu wamechanganyikiwa
We do it again.
Okay.
Kenwood vacuum ni hii hapa.
Sawa, si wapatia au Sudan.
So Ramtons Toasters ni hapa, sio?
Ramtons, by the panga, huyu one night ni hii, nitampea. Huyu mwingine GBL headphone. Tafuta hiyo headphone. Umeiona? Haya, huyu mwingine bullet blender. Ndio ile. Umeiona? Ndio hiyo. Sawa. Sawa.
Alafu Canon.
Hawa ni Canon Pixma printer. Hii ni wa printer. Sony Bluetooth.
Sorry, let's use this one.
Okay.
How do you put it?
Weka tu hapo.
What you do? You have categories. So let's karatasi with these are our direct customers.
Oh, so ni direct customers, brokers, agents. Ini nini?
Banker Takaful.
Banka Takaful,
Yes.
DSR.
And then DSRs. So,
So?
amanza na direct customers. Unaona, sema DIB Kenya. Hata iko sawa, soma tu. In the category of the direct customers, we have DIB Kenya Limited. Then we have DWG International. But who's number 1, who's number 2? Baba, na mimi nakuja na kuangalilia. Debi anapewa nini? Hivyo.
So, ngoja. Hawa wenye umeandikwa hapa brokers siwaoni hapa.
Wako. Sasa brokers ziko wapi? Hiyo Uma Insurance. So Uma anapewa nini? So tunapanga hivyo. Sorry, Isuma amekataa.
Unanichanganya. So,
uko sawa.
So, ngoja. So I should not use this.
Don't use this.
Okay. So I
Use
use
this. Yeah. Okay. So and now me, I'm checking what gift they are getting.
Oh, okay, sawa.
So
I start again.
Do you want to check the gift they're getting?
Yeah.
Under the category of direct customers, we have DIB Kenya. Na unaangalia ile kinachowapewa, unapeana.
Sawa. Haya. So ni kama tunaanza tu tena.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for that guys.
Alafu mic yangu sasa iko mbaya. Mwambie azime hiyo DJ. Do we have a representative from DIB Bank? DIB. Oh, Mr. CEO is here. Mr. Peter Makau, who is category of direct customers. Mr. Peter Makau is here.
What is he getting?
Makofi tafadhali.
Sema, he's getting a vacation in the Greater Nairobi.
Mr. Makau is getting a vacation in the Greater Nairobi. A round of applause for him. Thank you. Next we have the Sudan Embassy. Representatives tafadhali. As we wait for them, the DWG International Construction Limited.
What are they getting, DWG?
I don't know. A round of applause for them as they are coming.
Are they coming?
Okay, we don't have a representative around. Hiyo nitawabebea. The next one we have the, okay, our yuko hiyo category. We have the next category, the brokers category. We have Mr. Kenneth Kimani. Mr. Kenneth Kimani, tafadhali. From Apis Insurance Brokers. Tuangalie hapa bro. Sijui.
Oh, JBL head. JBL head.
Yeah.
A round of applause for her. Next we have Ahmed Noor Abdi Mohammed from Amana Insurance Brokers Limited. Unamtafuta kwa Amana. Uko wapi? Amana. Tusaidieni na yeah, award. Amana anapata nini? Oh, okay. The next one is Dahir. Nagia. Umma.
Lazima unasema vizuri.
Next we have Mr. Dahir Nagie, Umma Insurance Brokers Limited. He's getting 2 nights in Mombasa. Representative is coming.
The camera is there. Maniki, look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Kindly angalieni kamera mpigwe picha poa. In the next category of top performers agents, we have Yahya Mahmoud Warfa from Warfa and Associates Insurance Agencies Limited. A round of applause.
Yes.
Unapata nini?
1 night in Nanyuki.
1 night in Nanyuki. one is Muhammad Gedi from Elevate Insurance Agency.
So need to pick up. Yes.
As we continue, Mahmoud Yaro from Gold Link Insurance Agencies Limited. A round of applause.
Oh,
Next category. Okay. The next category, we want Mr. Anil to come forward and help us give away the awards. Mr. Anil Katayari. Oh, he's already here. In this Banka Takaful category, we have Winnie Mutunge from First Community Bank Takaful Insurance Brokers Limited. Winnie is having a trip to Watamu. 2 nights in Watamu. The next one we have Abdullahi Salim from AMS Insurance Brokers Limited. Wow. He's getting a refrigerator. The next one we have Sylvester Ouma from KCB Insurance Agency. Sylvester atapata nini? Sylvester Ouma atapata nini?
Sylvester Ouma wapi?
Sylvester. Sijui ya KCB Insurance.
KCB anapata Von
chest freezer. Wao ni freezer. Wao ni freezer.
Kuna chest freezer
ile iko pale nimeiona.
Anil. MS. Rudia hii. KCB.
Wamekuja?
Hapana. Sylvester Ouma ita.
Okay, Mr. Sylvester Ouma from KCB Insurance Agency. A round of applause. He's getting a freezer.
A Von chest freezer.
A Von chest freezer. A round of applause for him. In the next category, we want the CEO, Madam Sumaya, to come and present the awards. In the category of DSR.
Direct sales representatives.
In the category of DSR, direct sales category, direct sales? Representatives. The first person we have is Ahmed Mohammed Qasim.
He's getting two nights in Nanyuki.
He's getting 2 nights for 2 in Nanyuki.
Is he around? On his behalf.
Oh. A round of applause for him. Yusuf Mohammed Kulmia. Mr. Yusuf Mohammed Kulmia.
This one.
Anapata a washing machine.
A washer. Representative is coming. A round of applause for her. Mr. Kulmia is getting a Hisense washer. Mohammed Abdi Bashir. Anapata nini? Bashir? Mohammed Bashir. Mohammed Abdi Bashir.
Hii imeshachukuliwa.
The other person we have is Mohammed Abdi Bashir.
What was he getting? Elevator alikuwa anapata nini?
Nani hiyo?
Oh.
Von Kuka. Kuna mtu alikuwa anafaa kupata Von Kuka.
Let him come again. Yeah.
Nani hiyo? Nani hiyo?
Elevate.
Elevate si nilishawaita ama?
Yeah, elevate like one.
Just tell him come with that and come with your parents. Tell Elevate to come back. We want to ask the representative from Elevate Insurance to kindly come in front with your gift, tafadhali.
We made a switch. We made a switch.
We made a small mistake. We want to correct it. Kindly, tafadhali. Ushaipenda?
This one. It's this one.
Ya chini.
Did you take pictures? Did you? Yes.
This one.
Yeah, elevate. Apologize and say that Elevate Insurance Agency. No.
Me apologize too.
Apologize for Elevate.
Okay. We make our apologies to Elevate. We made a small mistake. Elevate Insurance Agency. He's getting a cooker. Wow.
It's a good swap.
Beba juu.
Ungeweza kuongeza ya tano mdogo.
Huko mbele wanasema uinue juu. Haya.
Uko na kuka ya Ramadhani.
That was about it. We appreciate. Yes. Appreciate all the winners.
A round of applause for all our winners, tafadhali.
No, the fridge got.
Thank you for taking part in this award ceremony. We have now come to the conclusion of the awards. We want to call in front the managers and the CEO with all the others, managers. And we're going to do a countdown of 5 minutes. We are going to do a countdown of 5 seconds, and then we do the launch. So kindly stand up, be on your feet for the biggest launch. It is an achievement, and we want you guys to be happy for us and celebrate with us. Kindly from the CEO, Dada Takaful is... Esta. Weka ngoma. Okay. Kindly settle down, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Punguza. Punguza. Usiende. We have come to the close of the event, but before we finish, we want to give a vote of thanks. And I'm requesting Mr. Hassan Anil to come and give us the vote of thanks. But kindly settle down for the vote of thanks, tafadhali. I know you guys are excited for the launch of Dada Takaful, but kindly just settle down and we give you the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we say our vote of thanks, this one. Before we say our vote of thanks, the only tangible thing on Dada Takaful is the handbag. With us here today, we have a number of fantastic handbags we would wish to release out. But there's a condition. The condition is you sign up on the Dada Takaful. I think I've got 3 participants, if I can call that. I have the VC of Uma, who is my first customer. I have Madam Khadija, if I've not forgotten, as my second customer. And I have Sister Wambui. I think she's left. She's my 3rd customer. So before they sign out, kindly ensure that you've seen our agent who's just sitting out there. There's a DSR who's willing to accommodate. It comes with a very fantastic handbag. I wish I would have shown you. That's the only tangible thing I can show. The rest we can only see as visuals. Having said that, we thank Allah for making this a success. There were so many people who came in here. I cannot mention your names, but allow me to recognize a few of you. We had the CEO of Gulf African Bank with us today. We had the CEO of Dubai International Bank with us today. We had the Vice Chancellor of Uma University with us today. Thank you for taking your time, especially on a Thursday evening, to be part of this process. For the rest of our colleagues and partners and friends, I cannot mention you individually because there are 100 of you out here, so mentioning you might take the whole night and you're all tired. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be part of us today. May Allah guide all of us in this year 2022. May Allah give us tawfiq as we embark on the journey of making 2022 a success. With that all, I would say thank you and have a good evening.
We've officially finished the Takaful Intermediary Awards dinner. Guests can leave at their own time. I've been your MC, Nasra Yusuf. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for me as you leave. Thank you.